What happens when a well-known actor known for fighting Demigorgans and not being so successful in love embarks on a musical career? Is this a case of actor turned singer delusion, or is it actually a good album? Check out the full review on YouTube if you want to find out.